I have been thinking about writing a lot recently, mainly because I am writing. I'm always writing, but because I became particularly inspired recently, I decided to make a video to gather my thoughts. Please allow me to give a little backstory. I started my career writing gags and sketches for BBC Radio. I don't know how many were used, but several over the years. I've also written comedy for live shows. I've written audio dramas and plays, both one act and full length, which have been produced in the UK and America. But movies are my thing. That's why I set up this channel, because I wanted to document my attempts to make a movie. And since I set this channel up, I have made several shorts, some of which have been shown in festivals and have even won awards. But a feature film is the real goal. I've written more screenplays than I could count. They've been entered into contests, and I have been longlisted and shortlisted, and on one occasion I even won. And these scripts have attracted the attention of stars and producers, both British and American, but despite reworking and shaping the text to their endless notes, they didn't get made for some reason, or more likely, no reason. There was a time when I would have been bitter about that, but not anymore. I now see that that is just how the business works. I recently made a short web series with the help of my friend Jeddah, whose idea it was, and my other friend Sam, who is a talented filmmaker in his own right. We shot the series over the span of 2 days with the help of one other person, Kath, and between the 4 of us we did everything on that production. And you know what? It was the most relaxed and fun shoot I think I've ever worked on.
Don't be so silly, Margot. Don't be so silly.
And I came to the realisation that maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. I keep writing more and more commercial scripts to satisfy what I'm told is mainstream movie tastes, because that will attract talent and thereafter money. But people aren't going to see those movies anymore. The 2 things that really sell are Hollywood blockbusters and strange art house movies. I don't have the money or the interest to make the former, so let's look at the latter.
I'll say this for the film: it's like nothing I have ever seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Where did you shoot the movie?
I grew up in Nashville in Tennessee, and I wanted to make a different film. I wanted to make a different kind of movie because I don't see cinema in the same on the same kind of terms or the same way that the narrative movies have been made for the past 100 years. I mean, we started with Griffith, and we ended up with I don't know what the hell's going on now, but basically,
this
nothing,
thing will set them straight.
Yeah, but basically nothing's changed. So I wanted to see a movie with images coming from all directions.
Well, that's what you have. You've assembled a series of very striking, vivid, disturbing impressions.
I recently saw Harmony Korine's Gummo for the first time, which isn't a narrative as I'm sure anyone in Hollywood would understand it. Instead, it is a compelling patchwork quilt of scenes. I guess you could call it a mood piece rather than a story.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take you on a guided tour of the club casualty, so come on!
Human Traffic is a film that me and my friendship group really took to when it was released in 1999, which is surprising as I was never a part of the clubbing culture, and I loathe dance music. This film is basically a bunch of sketches about a group of friends on a night out, but it was really funny. And it also keyed into that period of your life where you do your dead-end job in the week so you can have fun at the weekend, which resonates for a lot of people.
Fuck. We spend 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, incarcerated in this wanky fucking store, having to act like C-3PO to any twat that wants to condescend to us. Do you know what I mean?
The Michael Winterbottom film 9 Songs comes to mind too. Now this film got most of its notoriety because of its sexually explicit nature, which is also why I can't show much of it here, but I remember the film being like fragmented memories of a relationship.
We spent a lot of time choosing the 2 actors and really at the very beginning kind of explained to them that the starting point for the film was 2 people making love in bed. So don't do the film thinking, well, there'll be a little bit of sex, but actually it's a chance to, act in a film. They had to sort of, be really kind of happy that in a way the heart of the film, the way the film was going to be told was through the sex. And so, we met a few times. Once I'd chosen Margot and Kieran, we sort of met a few times and talked about it. And then we had a day's filming rehearsal, and just to see how it was. And then we waited a couple of weeks, and then we began. And when we started filming, I think we sort of filmed 3 or 4 days the first week, and all the way through the filming, it was quite broken up. We'd film for a week and then take a break, then film for a week and take a break. So there's plenty of time for everyone to sort of make sure they felt comfortable with it, make sure they weren't, feeling awkward.
Now that filming schedule actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of low-budget films shoot for 10 to 15 intensive days, which is never long enough, so people end up working more hours than they should and burning out, which causes both crew member and movie to suffer. So to shoot for a few days a week, or maybe even a few days a month, makes a lot of sense, as long as the story works with that schedule.
I was trying to make a movie about childhood. I just had this one big idea. Well, how about just get the same cast and we'll film a little bit each year? Like, could you do that? Would that work as a movie?
Richard Linklater's Boyhood is far from my favourite movie, but it is an impressive feat to shoot a film for 5 days a year over the span of 12 years and being able to retain the whole cast for that time.
The production itself gained momentum over the years. Every year felt like kind of a very fun reunion.
If I were to write something, not set over 12 years, but say about 6 months or a year, I could film for 3 days and then spend the rest of the month raising money for the next month's shoot.
The hardest thing was when it ended. I wanted to continue shooting it for the rest of my life, and I never wanted anyone to be allowed to see it.
I could potentially shoot for 3 days a month without exhausting too many favours. And if I keep the narrative loose when someone drops out, as someone always does, I can rewrite that scene with little effect to the story. So that which were inside could now be outside, or instead of actor X, it would be actress Y. And I just put this together simply, the same way that I did that web series.
When I wrote it, I did write it keeping it deliberately small. I mean, there's no major special effects, there's no big, huge crowd scenes, there's nothing that involved big scale production. I wanted to keep it as small as possible. It's mostly people talking. That was really what I had in mind when I wrote it. It got darker and sicker as I wrote it, because you take a basic premise and you keep adding complications, and it's pretty twisted, I hope.
I think I learnt a lot from making these videos for YouTube, and there's something to take from even the biggest flop, but I'm starting to feel like not having made a feature film is eating away at me. I feel like I've been waiting for permission to make a movie. Now I don't want anyone's permission. I'm making it anyway. So I have been writing a script. It's this one, in fact. This is what I do. I tear the pages off as I rewrite them. It's not perfect, but it's going to exist. This is the one. This is the one I'm going to shoot. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making this movie.